remarkable story of survival after going into cardiac arrest during his usual morning bike ride. Fit and healthy father of one, Ian Hutchinson, was clinically dead for 19 minutes.
But thanks to his quick-thinking mate who performed CPR, Ian defied the odds, and he joins us now with his friend, Don McKee, to tell us all about it. Ian, let's start with you. What happened?
Well, Donnie and I were out on a normal Tuesday morning bike ride. Something really weird happened. He was leading for a change. And then I just blacked out and, he jumped in and got some bystanders as well, rang 000 and got into CPR. So drew the short straw and had to give him mouth-to-mouth as well.
Oh, wow.
Luckily, I don't remember any of that, but his wife assures me he's a very good kisser. Yeah.
You two are fun.
There we go.
Making death fun with you two, isn't it?
I mean, for you, Don, here is, your close mate who's just collapsed.
Yep.
You obviously knew what to do.
I did remember my first aid training, thankfully, but I was very shocked at the time, mainly because when I started mouth-to-mouth, I realised he hadn't brushed his teeth that day. But I could remember enough training to obviously have a fantastic outcome. But today being World First Aid Day with the Red Cross, we really want to get the message out there of how important first aid training is.
Because your training, you were saying to us just before you came on, was like 30 years old, and it actually... You weren't doing it right? You were being criticised for not doing it right?
Well, I wasn't criticised, but immediately when I was asked to jump in that situation, I recollected something very different of how to do CPR. Right. And the training is always being updated and changed. So even though anyone who's been trained should keep getting their first aid training updated all the time.
How do you disconnect in that moment where you've got a job to do to save a life, but it is your friend here? And I mean, I can't imagine what that moment is like.
Really, I just tried to push the emotion aside and thought, OK, I have to do something here, whatever it takes, because he's depending on it. And, everything sort of, as they say, slowed down a little bit, and I just tried to do my best in a pretty scary situation.
So, Ian, when you come back, do you know what's... do you know what's... People go, OK, so you've been dead for 19 minutes. And how does that feel when you're told that?
Well, I was in an induced coma as well in hospital, and it took me about 4 days for my memory to slowly get back. So it was a very gradual thing, but with family and friends around, they told me what had happened, and it got us thinking about how important it is, because I hadn't done first aid training for ages either.
Yeah.
And we thought, wow, gee, we really need to go and update our first aid training, because 80% of the time, if there's an emergency situation, it's probably going to be friends and family.
Is it hard to do? Is it time-consuming to do these trainings?
No, really easy to do. You can do it all in half day, 1 day. And the question is, are you going to be in a position, if it happened to your family and friends, to be able to, save their life like Donnie was lucky, or fluked, saving my life?
Well, I mean, they say it's something like 140,000 people die each year because no one near them knows CPR or first aid in that moment.
Well, that's exactly right. So it's just little things can make a huge difference to save someone's life.
And feeling confident is what it's all about, to think, I'm going to jump in and try.
And it is World's First Aid Day, and the Red Cross is offering free first aid sessions. So that's really important to get behind too.
Yeah, Australia's got one of the lowest first aid training populations on the planet.
Oh, wow.
And countries like Norway, 95%. So we've got a lot that we can do, and people just need to go to redcross.org.au and they can get training and, save a life.
How much do you owe him now, by the way? I mean, is he always holding it over you? That's what I want to know.
This is one of his shirts I'm wearing right now.
You couldn't find a better one.
Yes, I've got the bottom of his wardrobe.
I'm driving him everywhere. I'm paying his mortgage. He was number 7 friend. He's now moved up to 1 or 2.
Yeah, 1 or 2.
Yeah. Got to keep him on his toes as well.
Guys, it's a remarkable story, and thank God you had each other. It's a great story of friendship and what we should be doing, and we should all be going out and taking these free courses today. Thank you both so much for raising awareness for it.
Thanks, David. Thanks, Ethan.
All right, still to come, the fight to free 2 young Australian Globetrotters from one